The college basketball experience opening night marquee matchups episode of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up, and when you do, sign up with the promo code TCE SGPN to score up to $1,000 in bonus cash. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get your free 7-day trial period today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
Hello, this is Will Wade, head coach of the McNeese Cowboys. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes, yes, yes. Woo! Welcome to the college basketball experience. Opening night episode. What? We're talking opening night because it's that close, folks. It's right around the corner. YouTube.com/the college experience. Get on over there. Hit that like and subscribe button. And look, these guys been holding it down. They asked if I wanted to hop in the episode. I almost feel like an asshole for hosting because I should be the guest with the way they've been holding it down. But hop on over there if you're wondering who the hell you're listening to. My name is Colby Swinging Database Dad, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. Would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
Oh boy! I mean, schedules are being released. I feel like we're like I'm just sitting here concocting spreadsheets, dreaming of November 4th, which games I'm gonna be watching, all that good stuff. Ha! There's nothing like college hoops. All right. I am joined by my co-host. Give it up for former video coordinator for Hall of Fame coach Bob Huggins and Frank Martin. He is the host of the college basketball experience. He is the host of the Big 12 experience. He is the host of the Ryan and Rush show. And you can hear him on the college football experience as well. Give it up for Ryan McIntyre, AKA Money Line Mac. How are you, brother?
I'm doing good, man. You know, you sound like a spring chicken. College basketball is coming, and you hopped right on, and you got a different pep in your voice right now. Let's go, baby.
Mac tonight. Come on, make it Mac tonight. Different pep in the voice is just been up for about 40 straight hours. So I mean, that's what happens when they release these schedules. All right, it's got nothing to do with family issues. It's just me staring at schedules being like, wait a second, Akron's playing who on November 4th? We are also joined by the third man in the booth. Yes, he is the host, of this show, but also the host of the college baseball experience. He's the man always behind the scenes. All right. I like to call him the Jay Dilla of the podcast. Give it up for Noah Bieniek. How are you doing, brother?
Nice to finally talk some hoops with you, Colby. This should be plenty of fun, as this is also your TCE Trims debut as well. So we're on this series. We basically, for those that are tuning into this series for the first time today, we basically trim, for lack of a better term, the best headline of the day out of the news, and we dissect it a little bit and have some fun. Today, we're revisiting news after a Woj bomb yesterday took the headline, but Baylor is now scheduled for an opening night game against Gonzaga on November 4th. This was, of course, announced by Jeff Goodman, the one who always complains about opening night games. We'll see if that continues this year, as they do host their own event with some fun games as well. But Mac, I'm going to go straight to you on this. It is so cool to see two of the best in the game right now schedule against each other. Both of them are good friends as well, it must be noted. But, I mean, it's nice to see Baylor has now done this 2 years in a row, scheduled the marquee game of the night on opening night.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned it. They're like best friends. This is a rematch of the bubble championship. And it's also two teams that got a lot of experience coming back. I mean, Gonzaga was a top 10 team last year. They got their backcourt back with Nembhard, Hickman, Ike in the front court. Baylor, they got Roach coming over from Duke, the big fella, Omier coming over from Miami. So I think you got a couple heavyweights hitting it right on the head right away. Can't wait for this game in Spokane. And I know Mr. Dundee over there can't wait himself.
Yeah, Colby, you were talking pre-show that this was one of the most, the best, I think is the term you used, best opening nights in college basketball you can remember in some time.
Definitely. And yeah, for some reason, and maybe, I don't know, I feel like coaches started to really protect their schedules more in like the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
I remember like opening days as a child, opening nights, Midnight Madness, and then like the opening, like just being big time matchups, a lot of big time matchups. They kind of went away from that for a while. And a couple years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago, when I was doing the show solo, we opened up with ACC conference games, a couple of them, and Roy Williams and Boeheim, I believe, complained about them. And they went away, but I don't understand like the logic on like, let's have a preseason. Like to me, just give us good games, give us good fucking games. All right. From the start, like you have this many teams, you can balance out the entire season having a good matchup at least every night. But you should probably have multiple good matchups every night. But so when I see this, when I load up, and I've been doing this all. I know you guys have been killing it with episodes, but like even back in June and shit, I'm like looking. I make my own because someone will tweet like, "Hey, they agreed to this game," and then I go to the spreadsheet. And I go, "Oh, I'm putting it on there. I'm putting it on there, right?" And then I'm trying to envision this, and I'm like, "Okay, I wonder how they'll look." So I was.
Yeah, you don't get that Ken Palm or ESPN or CBS Sports organized schedule until like July, August, or September.
Yeah, we just get the Dundee one and I might pass out in the middle of writing one. It's like Arkansas State, right? And then I wake up and like, who the fuck's Arkansas State playing? Right? Yeah, but yes, I mean, this is why I will say I think this is the best. Probably, I'm even going to say it's better than that one 5 or 6 years ago where we had 2 ACC games. Even though like I like the fact of having a conference game or two. Like I love how they're such bitches. Like why does that matter? Like, does it really? Well, I didn't know why my team's like, well, really you didn't practice for the past like 3 months. I mean, Mac, you know this. Like they play all these European tours. You're telling me North Carolina wasn't on? They were just not playing any basketball. Well, no, I didn't know. I didn't want to know my team. I don't like this. Oh, yeah, it's like, come on, man, just play games. All right, play some good games. Play some good opponents. But yeah, I look at this slate and I think this is the best. Since I've been doing the show, it's the best slate that I've seen.
And to your note, Colby, Monday starts the 42-day window, and what that means is, everybody, you get 30 practices in 42 days. So, like official practice starts on Monday, where they can go 3 hours, no restriction. So, and to your point, Colby, it takes established coaches to start this trend going back in the right direction. Mark Few, Scott Drew, they're well into their careers. They're not on the hot seat.
And they have so much security in their job right now.
And they're not scared to schedule. I mean, Gonzaga is scheduled for years and years, and same with Baylor. If they can just drive this bus where we can get some more quality games early and often in this first week before Feast Week, I think you got to look at some of these other coaches that are established in their contracts, not on the hot seat. They have a backbone, not scared to take a loss to a top 10 team in the first week. I completely agree.
So there is one counterpoint and one dilemma to the whole, hey, let's load up opening night. this year specifically, Monday night, there is a football game that contains Patrick Mahomes in it. So people are shying away from a Monday night football game also.
NFL
and
died
this
with
year,
that fucking kickoff and their stupid, we have to declare an onside kick.
And this year, the bigger story is that Tuesday, your game's not going to be talked about because there's a whole election thing going on. So there's
the election died years ago.
So there's small reasons for why the coaches would shy away other than like no job security. But I'm with you guys totally. And we're going to have some fun with this on the flip side of the show. We're going to draft some of the best games here on opening night. Each of us are going to select 3 games. Then we'll talk about some of our honorable mentions that, we created larger lists than we needed. So we'll get to that in just a second. But first, the war against corporate gambling is heating up, and we need you guys to do your part. Go over there, take a second out of your day, leave us a like, rating, review, subscribe to wherever you're listening to this show, whether it be YouTube or any podcast platform. It helps us out tremendously. And also, we need you to do your part. Tell a friend. Word of mouth is the heartbeat of SGPN. The college basketball experience is also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy, who is always adding new and awesome things to their menu. They now have first touchdown projections, and you can use specials and boosts on all flexed entries. Sign up today with the promo code TCE SGPN to claim your special pick plus first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code TCE SGPN. And we're also brought to you by BetUS. They've been around for more than 30 years, and you can bet in tons of locations, including internationally. BetUS just launched an all-new live betting experience, and you can easily deposit using cryptocurrency and get lightning-fast payouts when you want to cash out. Use our link to sign up and get a 125% deposit bonus on your first 3 deposits. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/betus. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/betus. Promo code SGPN so they know we sent you. BetUS, America's favorite sportsbook. And SGPN's proud partner, Rhythm, is the #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive betting models in seconds and get predictions for betting on money lines, spreads, totals, and props. Rhythm AI had a great NFL Week 2, 22.5% ROI on NFL spread bets, and 44.3% return on investment on NFL moneyline bets. Build your own model or copy one of the top-performing ones from the leaderboard. And Rhythm gives you predictions for every game and player prop, and also has a myriad of stats, research, trend analysis to give you more betting insights. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. And we're back here on the college basketball experience. We're going to begin drafting some of our favorite opening night college basketball games, the games that we are looking forward to most here. Colby, you are the guest. The way that we've been doing this, I've tried to get Siri to speak to me and tell me what she says, heads or tails, but I've been asking my phone, heads or tails, for the longest time. You're going to have first pick. Would you like to call heads or tails? And then if you hit it correctly, you get to choose your pick. If not, it'll default to Mac. Heads or tails?
Tails never fails.
Heads or tails? Tails. All right. So first, second, third, what pick do you want? Snake draft.
Well, I want the first.
All right.
I don't want you bastards stealing my picks. You know what I mean? Especially the most importantly.
And Mac, heads or tails for second or third?
Heads.
Heads or tails? It's heads. All right. So I got third choice, but do you want second or third? You want a snake or?
I'll go second. I think I like my second pick.
All right. Colby, you're on the clock.
Well, if I had a pair of glasses here, I'd put on my hipster glasses. You know me, guys. College football, college basketball, college baseball, college hockey, and every other fucking sport you can think of on the college ranks should always be played on campus. All right, unless it's the NCAA tournament or your postseason, play it on campus. So I'm not going, as much as I am very excited to see those matchups, and I still love watching college hoops. They could play on the fucking moon, and I'd watch college hoops. I am excited about a game going on in Orlando, Florida. All right, Buzz Williams, the buzzsaw, taking on Johnny Dawkins at the moon bounce there on the hardwood. Yeah, controversial, I'm sure, but give me A&M at UCF in a college environment. People, jumping around. It would just be a crazy fun night there, and I actually think UCF's going to give them a game. So that would be my first pick. Are you surprised at that? I almost went with another one.
Yeah,
that is on home and home there. Like they next year they're going to the. Well, I'll talk about it when it's drafted. But look, Baylor Gonzaga is fantastic. But come on, you fucking put that thing in the kennel. Put it in the kennel.
I agree. Yep.
It's surprising, I guess, but knowing you, I guess I'm not surprised hearing your reasoning for it 100%, but good pick. It was in the top 3 for me.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, look, there's something about this to me. If you put me as commissioner of college basketball, which I think I should be, I think I'm qualified. And, I would just say, hey, we need to do more of these. This markets the sport in its best light. What if you have any product whatever you're doing, I don't give a shit if you're selling cheese. You're going to take your best cheese to the place that buys the most fucking cheese, and you're going to look for the best setup to sell your cheese, right?
Yep.
Well, guess what? Selling college basketball is best when you play it on fucking campus. And I don't understand why we play so many neutral site games.
Yeah. I hate the neutral site.
Yeah.
I'm with you. And that gets me into my second pick. I didn't go Baylor Gonzaga either because I know everybody's going to love Baylor Gonzaga.
You're taking mine. Fuck.
I got this one circled. Missouri at Memphis.
That's the one I battled.
That was 2. Yeah. Well, they played last year in Missouri, so this was
that's
the
what
return
I'm saying.
game.
That's what I'm saying. It was a return. Oh, did I say next year?
Yeah,
I meant.
He's thinking of a different game.
No.
I think that there's also just a lot of storylines that come with it with this game because Memphis collapsed at the end of last year. Missouri will collapse the whole SEC play. They went 0-20 or whatever the hell it was. They both are loaded in the transfer portal class. Tyrese Hunter coming over from Iowa State, Haggerty from Tulsa. We went through the whole thing. Cisse moves Cisse back for his 10th year college basketball.
Don't even start with him.
He's back at Memphis. But Missouri, Dennis Gates reloads in the portal again. Tony Perkins coming from Iowa. Mark Mitchell from Duke. They're both loaded via the portal, both coming off bad years in terms of expectations. Who's going to start 1-0? I mean, Missouri, can they get a big road win to start it? Year 3 of Dennis Gates? Or does Penny Hardaway, with his new staff as of Labor Day, get off to a fast start? So I'm actually really looking forward to that one. I know Baylor and Gonzaga will steal the headlines, but I love this Missouri Memphis game.
Yeah, 100%. That was my number 2 for sure.
Yeah,
those are the 2 that I was battling. I was battling those, but I was like, I thought Penny. I don't know. Like, I still think it's there, but the reason why my logic was like, okay, well, UCF is going to be excited about this. Memphis, I feel like, do you think they're losing momentum? I know they got a bunch of money, but do you feel like they're losing a little bit of momentum with all this shit that keeps happening there?
absolutely.
I'm not worried about losing momentum. I'm more interested in that seat's fucking hot. That's scorching.
Yeah. That's another one, by the way, that I know we were talking pre-episode where a big time coach could end up there next year. Noah, where are you going, buddy?
I mean, you guys did this on purpose because you want me to be the snorkeling king. So I'm not. It fell to pick number 3. I'm not going to pass up on it. It's Baylor at Gonzaga. I'm going to locate it at Gonzaga because it's in Spokane. It's going to be a home crowd for the Zags. What I will say is I forgot to touch on it when we were doing this last. Otherwise, we could just skip over this. So because this game is in the state of Washington, which is a WCC conference mapped state, ESPN has rights to the WCC. So they actually get this game first, and they have the right to choose to air it on television or pass on it. They're not going to pass on a top 15 game on opening night. The dilemma is that Monday Night Football is on ESPN. They have a Manning cast on ESPN too. So you're either going to have this game tip off at truly Midnight Madness, which would be outstanding.
Oh, they're going to do that.
Or they put it on like ESPNU at like 7:00, which would be shitty as fuck.
No.
Or it's in during the day. Like if we get like a 3 in the afternoon tip, that would be awesome. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be at midnight. So
yeah, I think you're right.
Baylor at Gonzaga.
We went out there, West Virginia, one year at the Kennel for Midnight Madness. We were the midnight game. It was 40-10 in the blink of an eye. They beat the living shit out of it. That place was rocking. I mean, I was like, my God, it was the year. Who did they have? Kelly Olynyk and those guys. They were undefeated and March Madness lost to Wichita. They dog walked us, and yeah, I hope they play that game at midnight. That would be fantastic.
That would be perfect. That would be perfect. And Noah, here you go.
You guys did this on purpose.
It's back to you though, buddy. And I'm curious now. You get a chance.
Yeah.
Look, you had to take Baylor. Look, if I'm building a case, you had to take this in your top. This had to be a first round draft pick. It's a great game. It's just I put it on campus, please. Please, I beg you.
So I am going to take you to an on-campus game. I love the storyline here, and I think these are both going to be really good mid-major teams this year. I am going to take you to St. Louis at Santa Clara. Josh Shirt's first game with Robbie Avila at SLU. The Billikens travel to the West Coast to take on the Broncos. Herb Sendek and the bunch, they're going to be ready for this one. This one's going to be a really, really fun game. Sign me up. That's my pick for round 2.
That was on my list. I like this matchup. I'm sorry you said Robbie Avila. Who's that? All I know him is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Or what was the other one? It was oh man.
Now Noah, you snorkeled a little bit here. This game's not on home campus.
This is in South Dakota, isn't it?
It's in Sioux Falls.
Yeah.
Oh, this is part of the Field of 68.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
But do you still want it? It's still a hell of a game.
It's still a great game.
I think that game's better than the McNeese South Dakota State game.
And there's a few
in the Pentagon. It's fine.
I was about to say
that's a fine.
You have like Madison Square Garden, which is cool. You can play games there, and I don't want to like as a neutral site. I'm like, that's okay. That's Madison Square Garden. The Pentagon also looks exactly like the old school Boston Garden, so it just looks fucking cool. I kind of give a little bit of passes to those ones, but most of these ones, like when you're playing at like T-Mobile Arena in Vegas, I'm like, get the fuck out of here. But no, I like that matchup though, man. And I was trying to think of his other. They had like 20 nicknames for him. It was like a play on Salt Frazier. It was for Robbie Avila. Anyway, Mac, it jumps back to you.
You know where I'm going. I'll stay right at the Pentagon. I'll go to the nightcap here. Two of the guys we had on, one of the guys that was in the intro, Will Wade and McNeese, coming off a 30-win season, year 2, down there in Lake Charles, going up to Sioux Falls. He mentioned it. Nobody wanted to play him, so he said, hey, we'll go play the Jackrabbits at the Pentagon. Eric Henderson's won the league 3 out of the 5 years there. This is a fascinating game. I know the Jackrabbits lose a lot. So does McNeese. But the Jackrabbits are always good at the Pentagon. They almost beat West Virginia once upon a time up there when we were in the top 15. This could be a hard game for McNeese and a great test for Will Wade in year number 2. I can't wait for this game in the nightcap of the Field of 68 event in there at the Pentagon.
Yeah, this will be a big time Jackrabbit crowd.
Yep.
This is a good one though. This is almost like a home environment.
Yep.
I feel like this will be 90-10, if even that.
Oh, to be a road game.
Yeah. So I love this matchup too. But all these were on my list. I think good play there.
I've already given out my bold prediction during the Southland Conference, and we did a McNeese State team preview where I gave it out too. I think McNeese pulls away in that one. So that I'm happy that I got the second I'm happy I got the better game in that.
Hating on my Jackrabbits.
In that.
Well, okay. I mean, I think both. Yeah, I think if I had to place a wager on which game would be closer, I think I would take Noah's. But
yeah,
I don't know. South Dakota State in that home state, they play different there. Can't wait to watch those though. Do we know if they're what their public what channel?
It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube.
Yeah, they'll be streaming on their YouTube
like
channel.
YouTube TV or YouTube.
I'm thinking it's their YouTube channel.
Okay. You need to remember these things. And so do you, listeners.
We need an event next year. That's what we need to get.
I know. We're working on it. We're working on here.
Shit, Mac's gonna put together his own mid-major postseason tournament.
Damn right, baby. Screw all these high majors. I'm done with them all.
No CBI, no NIT needed. It's just the MAC, the MAC.
Let's go. Where you going, Dundee?
I am going to the great state of Texas, where there was some big news about old Andy Enfield leaving USC for what? SMU? They got George Bush making phone calls for them saying we need to belong in the ACC. We don't even need your money. And that to me spells intrigue to me because A, I didn't think they could land Andy Enfield. And B, I didn't think Rob Lanier was doing a horrible job, but they did upgrade. If I'm being honest, I do think they did upgrade at the coaching spot, all things considering.
I hear there's rumors on the internets.
And they're taking on Billy Gillispie at Tarleton State. Holy shit! This is you put him on the schedule. He will fuck up your opening night if you are not paying attention. You got the wife in town, her family. Oh, look at me, I'm coaching SMU. Oh, well, don't sleep on Tarleton State. They're gonna give you a game, and I love in-state battles. You know I love it. That's the bread of college sports to me. Even though this isn't a longtime rival as far as like arch rivals, but I always like little brother getting a shot at big brother. Give me this. This is on campus, I believe too. I might have snorkeled here.
I think
this is on campus.
Yeah,
that's what I thought. Okay, give me this all day. This is a fantastic game. Mac, your thoughts?
Yes, I mean, I love, you know me, man. I love Gillispie. I think he's such a good coach. Enfield, we'll be interested to see how he transitions over from USC to SMU with all that money. Football, slow start coming out of the gates, with maybe a little more pressure on basketball. And then you got little brother that's been investing down there. And also Billy Gillispie missed a bunch of the season last year with health. So he's got an extra chip on his shoulder coming back, baby.
100%.
In-state battles.
Oh yeah.
In-state battles. I have a second.
Yeah, we've got one more round of this. You're back up on the clock, Colby.
This is very hard for me because I see a lot of ones that I very like. By this point, I have a hard time taking one over the other. Like there's a bunch that are very similar to me, but there's a big neutral site game that I just can't do it. Someone do it. But to me, I'm gonna take you to the Shack. Louisville is breaking in a brand new head coach.
Yeah.
And they invite a little brother that has quite the history of winning, have just a good basketball program. I'm trying to think when's the last time they had a losing season. It was 2019, but either way, they have made the NCAA tournament twice in the past 5 years, and that is Morehead State at Louisville. I just love little brother getting a shot at big brother, especially if you talk to Louisville fans, they're super excited about Jeff Brown, but they're very quick to bring up the fact, hey, Pat Kelsey's our guy. We're back. Not so fast. Morehead State's going to give them a game at the Shack. Let's go. Mac, your thoughts?
Yeah, John Maddox, game one with Preston Spradlin going over to JMU. I agree with you. I like Louisville on paper looks good, but they got 12, 13 new players. It's going to take a minute. So, more head over less head always here on the College Experience.
Bieniek, what do you think of that game? Am I stretching? I just like little brother against big brother.
Yeah, that's the dynamic that you're going for. I understand it. I think Morehead takes a little bit of a step back as they lose Spradlin and a big chunk of that roster. We were doing the we were doing that conference preview the other day, and I think I had them picked third in the Ohio Valley, and Mac, I think, took them second. So a slight step back for the Eagles this year, but the program pedigree is still there. And like you said, it's the little brother against the big brother. That's what matters right now.
Let's go.
All right, Mac, where are you going, buddy?
I almost went back to the field of 68, but I got some representation there. I also got a home atmosphere. I'm going to go to an underrated event. Hey, guys, I know we're going to have Tuesday night action in college football here in November and Sunbelt weeknight games. But on opening night, we got a MAC Sunbelt challenge going on. And you got all 12 teams going head-to-head in action. We'll see who gets the better of who. I'm going to go with Jeff Bowles and the Ohio Bobcats traveling down to Harrisonburg, JMU, game 1 of the Preston Spradlin era. I still think they're going to be good. Program's obviously at an all-time high in terms of enthusiasm, coming off a round of 32. I'm fascinated by this game because Bowles in Ohio returned the most production out of the MAC, and I think this could be a hell of a game. I think Ohio might be able to get the Dukes here in game number 1.
Buddy, I love all those matchups, and I agree that like I had a hard time. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because in my head I was like, wait, Miami, Ohio, App State, third year of Steel, and then App State coming off of what I think of one of their better seasons. Dustin Kerns doing a great job there. So I love that series that they're doing there, even though like you're not getting little brother essentially. I just like those two conferences duking it out there. Bieniek, what do you think of that draft pick?
I told Mac, there's so many games in that challenge. I don't know if I would have picked that one. If you were to put me on a spot and tell me or ask me which one I would have picked, I wouldn't have an answer. But I'm just saying, I don't know. I think Mac was talking about an Arkansas State one that was really interesting as well.
I like that one too with Akron.
Yeah, and Arkansas State and Akron, they're playing each other. So, Ohio, we were talking about this on the last show. Another program pedigree hitting the road to James Madison. We saw the James Madison Dukes in this MAC Sunbelt Challenge last year go double overtime against Akron. That game was a hell of a
awesome.
Game. So,
Yeah.
or Kent State. Kent State, James
Yeah.
Madison double overtime. So that was a hell of a game. I think this challenge is going to deliver up and down the board.
Agreed. Jumps back to you, brother.
Yeah, and I had this game ranked 4th on my big board, so I'm super happy that it fell to me. Give me Wright State at Kentucky. A nice border battle. We've got two new head coaches here.
I almost did that too, dude.
We've got 2 new head coaches here. Clint Sargent gets promoted from within in that Raider program, Mark Pope in game 1. I mean, he's got big shoes.
I like the Pope hire. I
don't know if I'm a huge fan of it. I think Wright State might be a little. It might. I don't know if they're labeled live, but it's going to be a little too close for comfort come second half. I think they do lose their 2 studs in the backcourt, and Tanner Holden and Trey Calvin, but they reload each and every year, and they're bringing back Brandon Noel in the front court. So he put up 14.5 points per game. Wright State's going to be competitive. Don't be surprised when this one's close in the second half. So Wright State, Kentucky, I couldn't pass on that. My Horizon League Titan right in my backyard. Come on now.
Love it. Yeah, like I said, I was thinking about that, and that was like kind of tied to the Louisville Morehead State one to me. It was like close right there. Yeah. I mean, Mac, what do you make of that one?
Yeah, I mean, man, I love Wright State. Nagy did such a good job there over the last decade, and Sargent comes in. He played for Nagy at South Dakota State. He's been with them for the last 10, 15 years. It's going to be the same program. It's going to be a culture here that expects to win. He talked about that when we had him on as well. Him and both your picks. We had Maddox on, we had Sargent on. They both talked about taking over at a spot where they've been a part of success, and it's their job to continue it. And I think they will. And getting a shot at Kentucky and Louisville on opening night.
Let's go.
Let's go Morehead and Wright State.
So some of the big things. I mean, are we going another round or are we?
I mean, I could I could go another round. We're already
Well, I was just going to talk about what wasn't drafted then.
the honorable mentions. I've got games still on my board too. I'm sure all you guys do as well.
All right. Well, no, then it's your pick then.
All righty. We only did one ad, so that's the only thing I was nervous about. We might get in trouble for a full length show, but screw it. I'm having fun. All right. Well, if we're going another round, I'm not going to let this thing go back to you guys. It's Ohio State at Texas, neutral site, but it's probably the second biggest like program game. Yeah, they're two football schools that are probably going to be play the music. I mean,
college football.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably a college football playoff game, to be honest. But Texas probably a top 6 or 7. I don't know. It's really loose. That's why I wasn't too excited to pick this one. But Ohio State's probably a top 5 team in the Big Ten this year. They've got a lot coming back, and they've got a new coach as well. And Rodney Terry, I'm not the biggest fan of that hire still, but this one has some intrigue for sure. So I couldn't let that one go another 5 picks before you guys gave that to me in the 5th round.
What do you make of that game, Mac?
I mean, it's two big brands. Diebler taking over. We'll see now that it's the battle of the interims that got the job. So I mean,
I was comparing Diebler to Terry last year.
Yeah,
that's right.
Exactly. So you do got a little interim, successful interim off there in Vegas. I guess it could be a preview of a big college football playoff game. So maybe we'll see the fan bases talking shit early before they play. Maybe they play in Vegas. I don't even know where the neutral site games are, but I don't know. I'm not the biggest Texas Ohio State basketball fans.
Yeah, I mean, it's the part that it's just like, yeah, just play this in Austin at that new stadium or that in Columbus.
Yeah,
I'm all on board. I mean, I'm still excited to watch the fucking game. You know, we love college basketball, but I'm just saying, I think about what it could be. You know. It goes to you, Mac.
You know, I might as well just park at the Pentagon. Charleston, Southern Illinois, 2 proud programs, year 1 head coaches. Scott Nagy, we just talked about Clint Sargent. We think he's going to keep it going to Wright State. Southern Illinois is a proud program in Carbondale. I think they're going to be right there in the Valley this year, and they're starving for a winner. I think game 1, they get a shot here. Also, he was the coach at South Dakota State that got things going before Otzelberger and now Henderson. So he's going back to South Dakota. And then you also get Chris Mack coming back to the game, taking over Charleston.
Love it.
So, yeah, 2 established coaches, new programs at the Pentagon. Sign me up for that one.
Yeah, I like that. It's like the Pentagon, that whole thing. I hope they do that as like I think that's like a morning game. Like we get a morning game, a lunch game, a dinner game.
That's the first game.
Okay, I didn't look at the times yet.
Yeah,
okay,
it's 9 a.m. your time, I believe.
Oh fuck yeah, let's go. All right, Bieniek, you got anything to say about that one?
No, I think it's a great pick. That was 6th on my big board.
I had it noted too. I mean, I want to take you to one that I have a juicy dog.
We got.
Well, when I see, and I got to make sure, I almost feel like I should go back and double check to make sure this is actually on campus. Cause a lot of times they do these fucking tournaments like an hour away or something. But I do think, Darren Horn in Northern Kentucky have been doing the damn thing. All right. 2 NCAA tournament berths. Obviously one of them was canceled because COVID. But they, Northern Kentucky hasn't had a losing season since, by my math, 2015. All right. This program has been to the NCAA tournament 3 times since then, and twice under Horn. And when I see them going to stale ass, bitch ass, complaining ass Saudi Arabia State, I see. Well, first off, and are you guys following the ACC case where like basketball games could matter, like as far as like Florida State and Clemson saying they want a chunk of their TV ratings, including basketball?
Yeah,
I ain't paying attention to that shit at all.
I'm snorkeling with it. I'm just so over expansion.
Well, the reason why I enjoy it is because when I think about this, I'm like, "Hey, you want to throw basketball in there?" Because I don't think Florida State's that good anymore. I think they've kind of that's what I'm saying. So I think it's going to be fun to sit back and watch the Norse come in and take them wire to wire. I know they lack athleticism compared to Florida State, but doesn't matter. They're well coached. This is going to be a game. Mac, your thoughts?
Noah and I were talking about this prior to, I think you joining the room, is Florida State, man, they just have not been the same team in the portal NIL era. I think a lot of it just Leonard Hamilton's a throwback guy, and they won with those 5th and 6th year seniors, development guys, and guys are transferring, and Florida State has just been behind. So I definitely think it's a live dog. I mean, Northern Kentucky, they have a history of winning these bye games and going to the tournament. They got a lot of resources. Yeah, I love the Norse.
Bieniek, it's going to happen. You're a Florida fan, so you like seeing Florida State lose. Sorry, Avetta.
Sign me up. Let's go. I'll grab my popcorn.
So wait, are we capping? Do I need to draft again, or are we this end of the episode here? I'll just note a couple.
I'm good
other
for
games.
one more round. I'm good for
okay,
one more round.
One
Let's
more
end
round?
it at 5. Let's end it at 5 rounds.
Bieniek wants another pick.
That's yeah, exactly. Mac and I have typically done 5 rounds for these drafts. Let's do one more round.
Let's do it.
Well, for me, it's easy. Slick Rick Pitino, year 2 at St. John's. Fordham coming in, the Rams, little brother. A lot of hype around St. John's every year, but even more so with the transfer portal class that he brought in. If you haven't paid attention, may I suggest you go check out who they brought in, because they brought in some of the. Where would you rank that as far as transfer portal class? It was a decent transfer portal class, better than last year's. I'll say that.
You got the guard.
Yeah, I think you got my favorite player in college basketball from last season in Kadary Richmond. I mean, he can literally do everything, and he's a Pitino guard. He's going to play lockdown defense. He's going to drive and be physical at the hoop. That guy's going to be an absolute superstar under Pitino.
And Keith Ergo, he's done a good job, man. Yep. So, I don't know. We'll see. I think that game's kind of exciting. Mac, where are you going?
I went back and forth on this one. I know this is a neutral site game, but it's in Jacksonville, so at least it's in the state. I went USF Florida.
You sniped me on that fucking.
There we go.
Yeah, go Bieniek. I mean, Abdur-Rahim won the regular season last year, coming over from Kennesaw. I know they lose a bunch in the portal, but if anything, we've seen he's a proven winner. He's had guys come over with him from Kennesaw. I think he reloads here. I think Florida Todd Golden year number 3. They're loaded too. So, I mean, this is a hell of an opportunity for South Florida to get that marquee non-con win that they didn't get last year. So that was the biggest knock on them, not even being a bubble team, even though they won the AAC regular season. So USF, the Bulls versus the Gators in Jacksonville.
Always great. In-state battles. I know I'd rather be on campus, but still it works there. Yep. In-state battle. You're seeing South Florida and Miami in football this week. It's just, that's what's that?
I'm really high on this Florida team coming into the year.
Surprise.
They lose 3 starters from a season ago, but
West Virginia too.
Tyrese Samuel and Riley Kugel exit the fold along with Zion Poland, who I think is the biggest hit. But honestly, Kugel wasn't too much of an impact on this team. You bring back Walter Clayton and you add Elijah Martin from Florida Atlantic. That's going to be a terrific duo. Will Richard returns for his 18th year. That's going to be a really fun team. But the reason why I let it go 4 rounds is because I don't know how good South Florida is going to be. But I trust Amir Abdur-Rahim to have that thing afloat. So
yeah. It's you, buddy. Final pick of the draft.
Yeah, this was the final one that I had on my big board because I prepared for 3 rounds. But I'm going to take you to a game that I'm probably going to have a money line play on opening night. Lipscomb's going to go in and take down Duquesne. Lipscomb, we just previewed the ASUN. The Bisons are going to win the ASUN conference this year.
That made my list. That made my list. And
they have so much coming back, and I think Duquesne's going to be a train wreck this year. So, yeah, I think Lipscomb's going to catch 2 possessions, or maybe a little bit north of that, because Duquesne's coming off the NCAA tournament win, you could say. I'm going to fade it. So give me Lipscomb. That one I'm super excited to watch and win some money on.
Well, I know that.
I'm with you. I thought that was one that I was looking and I go, ooh, I see a live dog opportunity. Mac, what do you make of that game?
Yeah, that was our preseason ASUN champion is Lenny Akoff going into year number 6 there. He's won 20 back-to-back years, and Drew Joyce taking over for Keith Dambrot. They overachieved clearly last year, knocking off BYU in the tournament. I think it's a tricky spot for you Duquesne Dukes fans, aka the Bet Detective.
The UPMC Fieldhouse on LeBron James Court.
Can you add any more shit to that? It's like the California Angels of Los Angeles and Anaheim County. Fucking ridiculous. Folks, that's our show. I mean, I had a couple others that didn't make the cut. Miami, Ohio,
who
App
is
State.
Your honorable mentions?
Miami, Ohio, App State, Missouri State, Butler. Kwanzaa Martin back at Missouri State. Hinkle Fieldhouse probably should have been drafted just because of that setting. What else did I have here? That's everybody. No, Portland State, Washington State. I think the Vikings could be live in that game. And I had Akron, Arkansas State, and Cleveland State, Michigan, and don't forget about Radford Pitt.
Oh yeah,
all those made. Yeah,
nice baby.
How about you, Mac? Any others? Did I miss?
I think that there's still some sleepy or under the radar ones in that MAC Sunbelt Challenge, man. You get 2 new head coaches at 2 good programs, ODU, Buffalo. I'm looking forward to seeing that one. Also, Toledo at Troy? Those are always in the top 4 in each league. But yeah, I just can't wait for this season. And we got to throw Gottlieb in there, going back to his alma mater at Oklahoma State. From a headline standpoint, I can't wait for that one. And then my
Pokes
guy
minus 34.
Oh yeah, let's go Pokes. And my guy Spinelli at Chicago State going to assistant dean opening night.
Oh yeah,
Chicago State.
I'm curious how
104 is still kicking.
Yeah. Oh, I love that one. That Battle of Chicago is fun. I'm also curious how, like, Colorado lost everybody.
Yeah.
Eastern Washington's had a good program over the years, but they've lost a lot of pieces. So I'm intrigued about that matchup. I don't know what to make of it. Yes, I know. That's what I'm saying. You know, coming in, you're not going to get Munson in the middle of nowhere, folks.
That program ain't taking a step back.
I'm excited for that. I'm excited. Opening night has got a lot of bang to the buck.
My draft board was completely cleared out, but I know one thing. If we make graphics for this episode, I'm beating both of you because I've got the 2 biggest snorkeler games on this thing. I'm going to get my revenge on Mac for his coach's draft against me where he destroyed me because he snorkeled
you.
So I'm getting a W here on social media.
I do think social media will give you the win, but you know, what the fuck do they know? All right. You know what I mean? Bring it on, social media.
They don't want to storm the court either. So
that's what I'm saying.
Into that crowd.
If anything, when I turn on social media, I need a barf bag every 5 minutes because of the takes I'm seeing. Anyway, folks.
Hey, Colby, you a fan of getting rid of cover 2?
Oh my God!
Don't even start.
Oh my God!
You want to get rid of zone defense in basketball too?
Just everywhere you look, man. Everywhere you look. Just look, I'm going to declare this is the end of the episode, just like we're going to declare an onside kick now. We're one step away. We're one step away from the NFL saying, "Hey, folks, you have to tell the defense which downs you're going to pass."
Can't you just pooch kick now? My high school team doesn't have a kicker. They just do pooch kicks. They kick it 20 feet up in the air, 10 feet forward, and they kill the guy who catches it.
That's what I would do. I mean, come on. It's just ridiculous. Anyway, folks, Give Noah Bieniek a follow on Twitter at NoahB77_ Moneyline Mac a follow on Twitter at Moneyline_Mac. I'm on Twitter at the Colby Dant. The College Basketball Experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. YouTube.com/the College Experience. Hit that like and subscribe button and check out all those previews, conference previews. Mac, Noah. Then you got all these great interviews, coaches talking. You're drawing up plays and shit. I feel like a fucking kid in a candy shop over here. And I'm just sitting back. All right. Just doing football content and raising my son and just trying not to blow my brains out from all these rule changes. So, sit back, subscribe to the College Basketball Experience and listen to those episodes because they're killing it over here.
The night of November 3rd, be there live midnight.
Oh yeah. Let's go. Till next time, this is the College Basketball Experience. You better start thinking about yours, and we out of here.